Welcome everybody, Media Men Online. I'm Dan, this is Isaiah.
What's up, what's up?
And we got some news for you, as you can see up on the screen. We're going to start with Dexter. We're going to talk about the Nintendo Direct, movies, a couple of little bits and bobs here and there. Then our question. We'll do the question after the news.
Okay.
Huh?
I said okay.
Oh. All right. Let's start off, obviously, right here. It's official. Dexter Original Sin Season 2. Dexter more. Where are we going next? Who knows? We'll get another killer of the season. Maybe we'll be introduced to a young James Dokes. I don't know if it's too early in the story for that, but I'd like to see this series go, as long as it keeps the consistency, go good 3, 4, 5 seasons. Be nice.
It'd be interesting to see how Dokes came to dislike Dexter and all that.
They do show a little bit of it in the original series where Dexter's doing one of his first few crime scenes, and he's enjoying it a little too much, and then Dokes kind of starts eyeing him from there. But we'll get more as with Dexter Original Sin Season 1. It takes little things that you learned in the original series, and then it'll do like a whole 20-minute bit of an episode on it. It's fantastic. The unfortunate bit, though, is that I just saw this as I went onto Dexter Daily to find the news article for Original Sin Season 2. Lady Gaga is joining Dexter. Oh. Oh my God. I was going to have a heart attack because not only is it saying Lady Gaga, who's terrible, really? Musical episode arc.
It had to be like a joke because of the Joker stuff.
April Fools, you sons of bitches. Speaking of April Fools, I was hoping this was going to be one.
Yeah.
Because Val Kilmer passed away on April 1st, and it popped up on my X notifications. I'm like, oh, okay, April 1st. This isn't the kind of jokes that I really enjoy. Guy was sick for a while, all that. But, yeah. R.I.P. Val Kilmer. We'll say that first. And other than Top Gun Maverick, what's your favorite Val Kilmer movie?
Yeah, you're making me pick one. I mean,
Tombstone is mine.
I'll say I really like The Prince of Egypt a lot.
Is that with Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, so that's the animated one. Val Kilmer plays Moses, and I think Ralph Fiennes plays his brother, the Pharaoh. But it's I kind of grew up on that movie, and even people who aren't into the Christianity stuff will say it's just a very well done movie. Beautifully animated and very heart-wrenching with its emotional storytelling, and part of it is because of the really great voice cast to it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I will always think Batman with him as well. Sure, were the Batman movies that he was in great? They were fine.
He was just in one.
Wasn't he in Batman? I thought I saw a second Batman down on the list.
It's like a making of Batman.
It was a making of. Okay. So, because I'm a big Jim Carrey fan, so I'm pretty sure I watched this one a ton.
The fact that they give this one a lot of hate is annoying because I get it's a bit more on the goofy side of the Batman universe, but Jim Carrey is a fantastic Riddler. Maybe he's not the Riddler that I personally would have liked, but in his version of the Riddler, he's fantastic. Yeah. And then Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face is hilariously good.
Yeah, I find that Jim Carrey's the Riddler is more Joker-esque, but it's whatever. I mean, their version of the Joker was less of the goofy Joker and more of the crime boss. So it's to have the Riddler, have the goofiness that they didn't give their Joker. I think that worked fine for me, at least.
Yeah.
I think Robin kind of is a little boring in the movie, but nowhere near as bad. Especially looking at this movie compared to the fourth one, the
Batman and Robin.
Yeah. That one is
George Clooney's the worst Batman. It's not even close.
Oof.
He is rough.
I mean, yeah, but no, Val Kilmer, legendary. By
actor. The way, Tombstone I saw for the first time 2 years ago. First time.
I don't think I've ever seen it.
1993.
I have it on my. I have it on my list of things I need to watch, but I still haven't seen it yet.
Kurt Russell's character. Now, Val Kilmer plays a fantastic role of Doc Holliday. But Kurt Russell's character is the star of the show. Kurt Russell's the man.
Mm-hmm.
He plays Wyatt Earp.
Yeah, I have a couple movies that say Tombstone because I know Walk Amongst Tombstones is another movie I need to watch. And then the other, like that horror movie one that came out that I can't remember the name of at the moment. But they all have Tombstone in their name, and it's like, why have I... Or, never mind, that's called Bone Tomahawk, not Tombstone. But yeah, no, it's...
Bone Tomahawk is Kurt Russell.
Yeah, Kurt Russell's in that one as well. Oh, yeah, Willow. I completely forgot he was in Willow. I grew up on that movie. Super good. Love him in that movie. That movie is a gem. It's not great, or I mean, it's not produced great, but you can tell that there was a lot of love and effort that went into the movie, and it really makes it work. And it's very sad that you can't even watch the sequel TV show anymore because Disney Plus was like, well, we're gonna take it off our streaming platform, and it's available nowhere now. Yeah.
Wish Disney Plus was. All right, R.I.P. Val Kilmer. So until Game Informer proves me wrong, I'm going to use their website to bring up news and stuff until they screw up. They have full free range here. So visual here is the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Was this past Wednesday?
Yep.
April 2nd. And we got a lot of news here. And the biggest takeaway for me, fortunately, is the pricing on things, and we'll break down everything here in a sec. But
it's funny because the pricing wasn't even in the Direct at all, and it came out from people that they didn't put in the Direct specifically because they knew it would be controversial.
$449.99. There's an option for the Switch only, the Switch 2 only, which I think they missed an opportunity, and they should have called it the Super Nintendo Switch.
So that's another thing another weird thing that they addressed. They said we didn't call it the Super Switch because of some sort of like cartridge or hardware reasoning, which made no sense to me, but
launches June 5th. We'll get to what your message just popped up as we were about to start. $449, and games are rumored to be $70, $80, and even $90. This is not confirmed, but the Mario Kart price of $80 is.
Yeah. Well, no, it's $90.
Oh, Mario Kart's $90.
Mario Kart. Well, the Mario Kart physical is $90, and the digital is $80. So that's why. Oh, if you buy the Nintendo Switch 2 bundle that comes with Mario Kart, you get it for only $50. Wow. I don't know.
Tell us what that notification just popped up before we started.
Oh yeah, and then like literally 5 minutes before we started recording, I got a notification from GameStop that was saying that, hey, the pre-orders are actually not going to be going live next week on Wednesday when they were supposed to, because they need to address the potential tariff issues that might be popping up. So, yeah great.
All right, let's move on to some of the positive stuff.
The actual cool stuff.
Yeah, so as we said, Mario Kart World, it's called.
Yeah.
Launch title of 80 digital, 90 physical. So you can get a Switch 2 by itself, and if you're dead set on Mario Kart World, you might as well get the bundle, because the Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart is $500.
Yeah.
So you save yourself $30 or $40.
Here's the like the thing that I was talking with my friends last night is it is only an extra $50, but it's digital.
Right.
And we all were like, we like the physical cartridge though.
Right.
And then it's just that weird thing of, well, is it worth $40 extra just to have that physical cartridge? And it just sucks to say, because I hate buying only digital stuff, because, you know, the PS Vita store went down and you can't access anything and you can't download anything that isn't on it anymore. But it doesn't matter, because I have all these physical cartridges that I can just pop in and play the games for.
Right.
And that's why I vastly prefer, you know, physical stuff. But it's a weird thing, because we'll get into more when we talk about more of the games. But man, I really want to get this Switch 2 on launch.
Yeah.
And I want to play some of the games on launch. That's a lot of money. A lot of money for a hobby to pump money into.
Especially when scalpers. So Nintendo Switch, by the way, if you go on their website, I did this shortly after the Switch Direct. if you go on their website and you say, you put in your email, and it's an email associated with the current Switch Online account, they will allegedly reserve you. They will send you an email to get first dibs.
Yeah, so
it's about time.
They did this with the PlayStation 5, and the exact requirements for the Switch 2 are you have to have an active Nintendo Online account, and you have to have at least 50 hours on your Switch.
There you go.
And they do that to keep people from, you know, doing the whole, hey, let me just buy a Switch, create an account, and jump on.
Scumbags.
Try to get the bots
just
as
with
filtered
everything
out as possible.
Ugh. What were we talking about last week with the...
Well, it was the Pokemon thing, and then we saw the one guy who's trying to scam the bots, which was great.
Unbelievable.
But yeah, so they did that with the PlayStation 5 for the second wave of releases for the PlayStation 5, where you could sign up on Sony and they'd send you an email to just reserve whatever it is that you wanted, that they had stock of. It is like random times, and it's not like, hey, they're going to send them all out on Wednesday. I know they were sending them out over the course of an entire month. They're just sending people emails and being like, hey, you have 24 hours to use this link to sign in and buy the thing.
Right.
And it's just buying stuff online nowadays is so frustrating. I was going to talk about it a little bit later, but I'll just briefly touch on it now. We don't have to do it again. The Deadpool secret layers that came out. And it's like, you know, hey, I had to wait in line in an online line for an hour for those, and they just barely didn't sell out of the one I was looking for. And then the previous Marvel ones that I had to sit in line for, the site had so much traffic it went down for an hour and a half. And it was like, cool, I get to sit in line for an hour and a half extra long just to try to, you know, get these cool cards that I want to get. And then people are going to be selling these on TCG Player up, like the Captain America one right now, I think, which I wanted and I made a deck around. It sold for $50. And I think it's going for like near 100 now. So it's like, because that's what people have been complaining about, is it's not that you can't get these secret layers if you wanted to, it's just you can't get them at MSRP. Because they announced with this one that, hey, we're going to have them sell in local game stores a month later. It's like, you don't think these local game stores are going to be selling them at the price that they are going for online? You think they're going to be selling them at MSRP? How would they do that?
Especially some pop the stuff out and put them in the cabinets and sell them individually. Some of those places,
especially because some of these cards are really good. Like a lot of the cards in this Deadpool set are good. Like Deadly Rollick, just the normal version of that card is going for like $30 about or something. So it's like that version of the card's obviously going to be even more expensive. So
yeah, scalpers just kind of ruin everything, and it's not just video games and collectibles. It's tickets. It's everything.
Oh yeah.
So all right, let's get into the positives. Yes. Mario Kart is a launch title. Mario Kart World it's an open world Mario Kart game if you want to.
So have you ever played Burnout Paradise?
No.
So Burnout, if you know the Burnout series at all, it's a racing game series, and you'd be like thrown on streets in a city and you would just race on the streets. Then they made this game called Burnout Paradise, which was a giant open world map of this giant city and then like the outskirts of the city. And you could go to different like spots and begin races and do races on these roads and follow the directions you're supposed to. Or what me and my brother and all our friends did is we just drive around in the open world just trying to do cool stuff, crash in the car because there was cool, like if you would crash into something, it would do like slow-mo and show like all the metal and everything bending on the car. And so like we would be like, hey, every 2 crashes we swap the controller off to the next person. And that's the vibes I'm getting from this one, where it's just going to be this giant open world where you can jump on the races and do your normal Mario Kart races if you want to. You can also explore this giant open world as long as there's cool tricks to do, which it seems like there's going to be cooler things to do since they have like wall jumping and different other kind of crazy things you can do as part of the racing. Might make for some fun like exploration type stuff. Like, hey, there's this cool little like ramp. That was the thing with Burnout Paradise. If you did this jump just right and did these cool things, you could get to this like park that had these ramps and jumps and everything. It was super hard to get to and find, at least, you know, as a kid. But we would do that all the time and just try to get there and then have a ton of fun just ramping off stuff, going on half pipes and things. And it's like, hey, if they do stuff like that in this game, it'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. And just in a general sense, the visuals that they were showing during the direct are beautiful. Like, it looks so much better.
Yeah, 4K up to 120 FPS.
Is it going to be worth it? I mean, we'll see. But it's just the price. I'm just Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Raiders, Donkey Kong Bonanza by Air Raiders.
Air Riders.
Air Riders.
I have a lot to say about Kirby Air Ride. Not that I will say a lot about it, but like it says, the 2003 Kirby Air Ride GameCube game. Mm-hmm. Another like that was like before Burnout Paradise, because we didn't. That was Burnout Paradise was PS3. This is GameCube. This is the game that I play with my friends all the time, because so the funny thing about this game is there's 3 different modes. There's like this regular racing mode. There's this really cool, like, you see the entire map, and it's like you have, I don't even know how to explain it, but you'd see the entire map, and you would have to like hit the A button at like specific times to go around turns, and it's about like trying to do these maps as quickly as possible. And then they had a city mode. And the city mode is what everybody knows this game for and played the game for. And like if you scroll up a tiny, like that one with the Link hat on, that's like the city mode where you're just running around in the city collecting power-ups and just exploring the city, doing stupid stuff. That is, and you could like switch out what cart you're on, and there's like a basement or a thing in the sky. We would just play that game tons. So when they announced this, my brother's like, hey, as long as there's a city mode, we're gonna sit down and play this game a ton.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza is a 3D platform, which could be fun. Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. I'm in the camp of, I'm torn drastically on Hyrule Warriors games, or on Dynasty Warrior type games, because the games are so repetitive and boring, but they're easy to make seemingly, and it's just kind of like a new skin on. I doubt it'll be this way with Hyrule Warriors, but you could get like a My Hero Academia Warriors game.
Yeah, I mean,
but you won't get like an open world adventure game because they're just easier to make.
Yeah, they do so many of these, and like
there was a Berserk one a few years ago. Yeah,
but I liked the first Hyrule Warriors a lot, mainly because the story was actually quite fun, because it was kind of like, hey,
yeah, all
these different game universes are crashing together, and you get to interact with all the villains, and they had for some reason, a very titillating boss lady where it's like, how is this in a kid Zelda game? And then the second game I was excited for, because it was like, hey, we're doing the story of what happened the 100 years before Breath of the Wild.
Right.
And they did something weird where like you could send people out on missions, and it kind of added a little bit of complexity and not a fun way to the game. Like, oh, you get resources by sending people out on missions, and they have a chance of succeeding or failing. It was really weird. But then what really lost me with the second game was when it said, hey, actually, this isn't a prequel, it's a fan fiction, because you don't care about spoilers for the second one, do you?
No.
Where it's like, hey, the heroes from the future come and save the people who were supposed to die in the past, and then it's all about like winning in the past. And I was like, I was hoping for like a game where you actually get to do. Yeah, I was hoping for a game where it was actually like focused on like the actual story, and it is a tragedy where it's like the people are gonna, and you lose in the end. Like, that's the thing that happens. Maybe Nintendo was afraid to do that for a kid's game or something. But yeah, no, all the heroes from the past or from the future come and save their respective ancestors to keep them from dying, and then they go and defeat, like the evil at the end and stop. Like, they basically prevent Breath of the Wild from happening.
Right.
And it's like I assume as much from what I've read. I quit the game kind of soon after that point because it really lost me, and I was like, I just lost all interest in what I had in this game. So for this new one, they're like, oh, it's a prequel of what happened 100 years ago, and I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna get fooled again.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you won't do that again, but I mean, it's supposed to be the same thing of, hey, they all come together and they end up losing in the end. I mean, like they do, if you know Tears of the Kingdom at all, they do end up sealing him away, but it's like, cool, everybody else dies. Are you going to let that happen?
Right.
Probably not. You're probably going to do the same thing you did last time. I don't know. I have zero faith after I got burned the last time.
Yeah. I'm going to shift my focus here to a From Software Switch 2 exclusive. When they drop this trailer, I'm like, this looks kind of Bloodborne when they're going through. So it has jetpacks and hand gliding, but it also has the classic. There's a lot of freaky looking mutated characters and the music and the setting. It's
literally Demon Souls to Dark Souls, but for Bloodborne, because it's like, hey, Sony won't make another Demon Souls, we're gonna make Dark Souls.
Right.
Say Sony's not gonna make a Bloodborne, we're making Dusk Bloods.
Yeah, this is
literally what it is.
It looks incredible. The hands on some of the characters looked a little wonky, I was noticing in the trailer, but you got to also remember this is coming next year. This is a 2026 title, so it's still in progress.
Yeah.
But this looks awesome. I'm going to play the hell out of this. And they also announced a few games down here. Cyberpunk 2077 is actually insane that they're doing this, but Elden Ring?
It's got to be. I mean, you watch the trailers for them, and it's like, it looks a little rough. It's probably cloud versions of the game, kind of what they did with the Kingdom Hearts games on the Switch, where it's like, hey, you have to be connected to the internet to play these games because it's just downloaded from the cloud.
The fact that PlayStation 5 couldn't play this thing and they're going to put it on the Switch, that being 2077.
I mean, they had a ton of like games that are in progress or already out that are coming to Switch 2, which is good to do because that way if you're buying the Switch 2 and you don't own these games, maybe it gives you other stuff to play in the meantime.
Elden Ring being there is also actually incredible. So I'm blown away by that. The other one, Hades 2, Street Fighter 6, Split Fiction, and Bravely Default.
Yeah. Really cool ones.
Yeah. GameCube games are coming to Switch 2.
Wind Waker, but not the HD upscale. It's just regular HD. It's just regular Wind Waker. Just
you
a little
can
sad.
Actually play Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which is impossible to get unless you're willing to pay $300-$400.
Yeah, I think
I still have my GameCube and I could play it, but the game is just not gettable.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be on launch because they said the only 3 on launch were those first 3 they showed, but they said, hey, these are the future titles coming in, and I saw that and I was like, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But
Metroid Prime 4 looked fantastic.
Yeah, I can. So that's the one thing that has me going like, I probably got to buy a Switch 2 is I want to play Metroid Prime 4 1080p.
Yeah.
Or 1080p 160 or 120 FPS.
Yeah, and it just looked so good. Now we saw some Metroid Prime 4 the previous week on the regular Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, because it's coming to just the regular Switch.
Yes, it's a dual release, and it just looks amazing.
And that's the other thing, though. Metroid Prime 4, I'm pretty sure, is a $70 game, right? And they said you're going to have to buy an upgrade pack to play it on the Switch, too. Which means it's going to be 80 or 90 bucks.
That's the same thing with Pokemon Legends EA.
Yeah, all of the Switch 2 editions of games, they all say, like, upgrade packs. And it's kind of a little gross. Yeah, Switch 2 editions. Yeah.
Some amiibos are on the way. Excited about that.
I didn't know about that. That's my first. They didn't do that during the. They didn't announce that during the Direct. That must have came out afterwards.
The other thing that we have on here that Game Informer doesn't seem to is the share button. The C button is a chat button. Switch Online is required, of course.
Yeah, I mean, you got to have it. Oh, no, so sorry. It's only required up until March of 2020, or it's not required until March of 2026 because they want to give everybody a free, like, try of it. So they said, like, oh, yeah, you can use it up till March of 2026 without needing a Nintendo Switch Online account.
Right.
But it's kind of like PSN. You're going to have it in order to chat. But I mean, it's good for kids because you don't want people just joining other random people and then just being like, because of the camera feature, just being like, hey, look, here's my junk.
Yeah.
To a 5-year-old.
And, you know, the Nintendo is going to be relying heavily on this online feature. The Switch Online was so bad that people, if they wanted to play games against each other, would use Discord and separate, call on the phone, anything else other than that chat they had on the Nintendo app. It was brutally bad.
It was bad.
They mentioned the camera.
They have a Piranha plant camera? Jeez.
It is available on launch as well.
Rumors is it's over $100 for the camera.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Where I was like, well, there goes any chance of me buying one.
Yeah, especially you're dropping $449 on that.
Yeah. It's like, what am I supposed to spend $1,000?
Yeah. Who's got that kind of money?
Ugh.
Let's see what else
and
we
then
got here.
Just other things we can quickly hit up is, because it was funny, the Switch to Welcome Tour, which is kind of like their version of like Wii Sports. It's like the tutorial thing. However, this one's like, yeah, it literally does just look like a tutorial though, because you go to text boxes and they say, hey, you can do this thing, and then they give you a little demonstration. It's paid. You have to buy that. They had something similar for the Vita, and it was free. It came with every Vita. Welcome Park. And that's the other funny name. This one's called the Welcome Tour, and the PS Vita one was called Welcome Park. But yeah, no, the Welcome Park was free. I remember that. I played that. It was fun. And I'm sure this one will probably be fun. Is it going to be worth $20, $30 though for how much they're going to probably charge you for it? No.
Of course not.
Heck no.
Let's see. That's available day one, and then there's a game share. Only need to own one game across 4 consoles, which is awesome.
Yeah, I think you have to be friends and near each other or something like that. But the idea is it's like, hey, and it's, for multiplayer type games, I guess. Yeah. And it's only specific ones. So I'm assuming that that's not going to be the case for Mario Kart World. Everyone's going to have to own the game. They showed it for like this, like, backgammon and chess and like all these random type game things where it's like, hey, if you want to play backgammon with your friends, you can just share the game. It's for specific games. So like I said, I'm sure Mario Kart World is not going to be one of those because they want everybody to have to buy Mario Kart World in order to play it. But
of course,
I think it works because also, like, I'm sure like Split Fiction will have that because that they make that the case on everything right now, where it's, hey, only one person needs to buy a copy of the game and your friends can join the game for free then. Because it's like, hey, it's a multiplayer game. What? That makes the game in order to play cost $120. And the guy, that's why I really like the guy who runs Hazel Lake. He's like, no, the game's $60. You want to play with your friend? You pay $60. You both get to play the game.
Yeah.
Crazy thought, right?
Good old days.
Yeah. It was funny. Somebody said for Split Fiction, they were talking to the guy, Joseph Ferris is his name, and they were like, hey, so, because you have 2 females who are the main characters, are you putting DEI in your game? And he goes, I don't even know what the heck that is. I just made a game I'm inspired by my 2 daughters, because, you know, they're growing up and love telling stories. That's where I got it from. It's like, he's a real one. Like, people say, like, he's based and everything. Like,
yeah, I've heard that word before.
Yeah, I think he learned it from me.
All right. Let's do our question of the week here before we head on into our little mini reviews and such. What video game should get a live action movie or TV adaptation that hasn't yet? So I first said Dead Space. I think that, as you know, and once again, this is obviously in the right hands. Of course, if your standard Hollywood person were to get it, it'd be probably terrible. But I think as a TV show, and it doesn't even, and this is the thing that I'm thinking, you don't have to retell the story of the game. Just having like a TV show where it takes place of people trying to survive and get off of the space station that's overrun by the infected, essentially, would be really cool. Just like a really cool horror TV show, or even like a movie. Because I think of a movie that I brought up not too long ago called Pandorum. That is essentially kind of like a Dead Space movie, right? For all intents and purposes. So it's like it can be done. It can work really well. You just need to have the right person working on it. So I will not watch it unless it stars Pedro Pascal and Jenna Ortega, and Pedro Pascal immediately takes the helmet. Other than that, I'm not watching it. Hear that? Amazon Prime or Disney Plus or HBO Max. Yeah, one of you guys, make sure you immediately take the helmet off, and it's got to be Pedro Pascal. Well, to be fair, Pedro Pascal does play the Mandalorian, where he never takes the helmet off, really, in that entire show. So they have shown restraint with him before. I'm not watching it. For me, Metal Gear Solid, and specifically the story of Metal Gear Solid 2 as a 2-hour and 15-minute epic film. Maybe put it in the hands of Tom Cruise. I don't want Tom Cruise to star in it. I have him be it like... He can play Solidus. Yeah. But I don't even want him to be on the screen playing it. My Solid Snake is going to be Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
And
what, Solid Snake or Raiden?
No.
As I say, I feel like Glenn Powell would be a good Raiden. Yeah. Like, he'd make a good Solid Snake, but he'd make a really good Raiden. Yeah. Because he has that wit to him, kind of like Raiden does. Like, Solid Snake is a little bit more dry.
And they got to reenact the part of the game where he's just running around with hands on his junk. So that'll be perfect for all the ladies out there. But yeah, this is my favorite Metal Gear game. It's the best story to me. It's the most interesting, and I don't want this stretched out into a series. Don't overdo it. It's going to get played out unless you did like a, let's call it a 4-part, 1 hour piece mini series. If you're going to do that, that's okay. But I'd want this on the big screen and in the right hands, of course.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot.
Naked Gun dropped a trailer.
Yeah.
With Liam Neeson.
Did you watch that trailer?
I did.
It's kind of dumb, wasn't it?
Yeah, but have you seen the movies?
Oh, I know.
Have you seen them, though?
I haven't seen the movies. I've seen tons of clips from it, though, and Leslie Neeson is epic, and very sad that he passed away recently. But yeah, no,
I don't think it was recent, was it?
Didn't he only pass away like a year ago?
This, probably, I would guess 2012.
Oh, I thought he only recently passed away.
If I had to guess, 2010.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else then.
I don't know.
Oh no,
Maybe
I'm thinking of
You're thinking of
No, I'm thinking of the other guy, the guy who played Mr. Bean.
Liam Neeson?
No, the guy who played Mr. Bean passed away.
He passed away a couple years ago, didn't he?
Liam Neeson?
Yeah.
No. Oh. That's why he's in the movie. He's the star of the movie.
No, he passed away though as they were filming it. Remember?
Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
I am like, you're screwing with me, right?
Yeah, of course.
I'm like, no, he's still alive. No, I was thinking the guy who played Mr. Bean. He passed away like a year ago. The other very funny actor from that time.
These films.
I've seen Airplane though.
Starting with starring Leslie Nielsen. It's funny that they did Leslie Nielsen and Liam Neeson, really just to screw with you.
Yeah.
Starring O.J. Simpson. Anna Nicole Smith is in the third one. These movies are the goofiest, dumbest movies. There's just scenes that you'd remember just for the rest of your life. And Leslie Nielsen, Naked Gun was the first one I've seen with him, but I did go back and watch Airplane, a couple others. These are the movies that really get you. If you're not in the mood for goofy, don't watch them.
Yeah.
Because they're dumb. They're intentionally dumb. They know they're dumb, and they're trying to be dumb.
They're dumb in a very funny way. Unlike a movie that I'm going to talk about later.
Yeah.
Well, parts of the movie.
Unless you have no sense of humor, then you're just going to hate, this is stupid.
Airplane is definitely in my top 20 movies of all time. I should probably watch the Naked Gun movies at some point. But Airplane is just...
We're not talking about Airplane, though.
I know, sorry.
Naked Gun. But Leslie Nielsen's an interesting choice.
Liam Neeson.
See? There you go. They did it on purpose.
They had to have done it on purpose. And I guess from a different trailer I saw that he's playing like his son. And they have a joke where every single main cast member is the like son/daughter of one from the previous movie. Interesting. They had them like clipping like, here's this character from the previous movie, and it's
Frank Drebin Jr.
Yeah, they're all.
Huh.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah, this is interesting. I believe it was what's the lady that was married to Jackson?
Wasn't it one of the
Priscilla Presley?
Yeah, as I say, one of the Elvis Presleys.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep an eye out on this. I think it's August 5th, 2025, I believe is the
August 1st.
There you go. August 1st, 2025. All right. Have at it.
All right. So I watched yesterday a Minecraft movie. I won't get into why, because it's just a lot of stuff going on. But all I'll say is, movie not aimed at me, not made for me at all. Is it a good movie? I wouldn't say it's a good movie. I'd say it's a solid 5 out of 10. Definition of mid. There's some parts that are kind of funny, actually. That's all the kids. Okay.
A lot of kids on Letterboxd, huh?
Yeah. Like you can see where the actual like hump is there. It's right in the middle, which is where I put it. There's some really stupid stuff, and here's the thing that I'll say: my friends are slightly younger than me, and they are way more into like the brain rot type of humor. I don't know if you know what that exactly means, but they had a great time at this movie because it is a lot of brain rot stuff. I didn't find a lot of it funny. They had a lot of references to Minecraft stuff and like memes online and stuff, and those didn't really get me. One positive I will say about the movie, Jason Momoa, not nearly as bad as it seemed like he was going to be from the trailers. So what it looked like is, he's got the long hair, the pink jacket. Is he playing some sort of girly character or something? No, he's not actually. He's playing like hey, I was a gamer champion from '89 and now I'm kind of washed out type of thing, which is why he has like the long hair, and the jacket had to do with the game that he was playing. It was like a beat 'em up. And he's more like, I mean, and this is what I like is one of my friends who watched the movie thought he was going to be The Rock, Dwayne Johnson type of deal, where it's like, he's just the cool guy the entire time and he can never do anything bad. No, he's kind of a little bit of a loser in the movie.
Is he the Block?
Yeah. They do have a funny, one of the few funny jokes in that movie is because it's in Minecraft, they have a cube thing and he's like, this is the orb of power. You mean the cube of power? Well, no, it just looks like a cube. Like that joke was kind of funny a little bit in the movie. The way they did it, I probably made it not funny there. I mean, Jack Black was Jack Black. I thought the rest of the cast was there, not really interesting or not. Like, it was a very mid movie. Some very funny stuff. Some off the cuff kind of weird stuff. Like all I'll say is there's a part of the movie that I just think should have been straight up cut, like where a villager makes his way out into the real world. And there's some weird stuff that they do with that. And I'll tell you once we're done recording, so I don't spoil it for the kids or whatever. But it is certainly a choice that they do with the movie with Jennifer Coolidge. Let's just say that.
One thing I know about this movie is Regal has a pink popcorn bucket shaped like this sheep. So anyone out there who wants a pink square sheep for popcorn,
they got pink sheep in the game or in the movie. That's for sure a thing. I don't know. It's the movie was all over the place. Editing was kind of weird, but I'll give it this because me and my friend were talking about that. I didn't sigh out loud until the very, very end, which I can't say the same for Star Wars 9, which we joke about all the time, where I was in the middle of the movie. And I actually made the joke. I was like, as soon as Steve takes his diamond sword and throws it into the water and rejects who he is as a person, then I'm going to audibly sigh, because that's what I did when I watched Star Wars Episode 9. That's where I gave up on everything.
I thought you were referencing something from Minecraft. Okay, no, I'm with you.
Well, we were joking that if Jack Black does that like he did in Star Wars.
In Star Wars, yeah.
They don't do it's a better movie than Star Wars Episode 9, okay? I can give it that.
Low bar.
But I mean, if you have kids who are super into like that type of humor and grew up in that thing, they'll probably love the movie. I just was like, hey, when it comes to like video game movies, you can either do things like this where it's like only really that one age demographic is really going to get it and like it. But then you could do something like the Super Mario movie where it's like, sure, it was aimed at kids, I could tell, but I still enjoyed it quite a bit. Both starring Jack Black. So that's why I say it's mid. I liked the Mario movie. It was
Parents
just a good movie on top of
movies,
it being aimed at kids. This one's super aimed at kids.
Yeah.
Well, parts of it are aimed at kids. That's why I'm confused for other parts, because they do some weird like 18 plus type stuff in this movie.
For the parents. That's probably why they throw them. Okay, I watched 2 stupid ass horror movies this week, and then I'm going to talk about 2 other movies. This will be quick. This movie came out in 2000. I believe Scream 2? Scream 3 was 2000. I'm almost positive. There you go. So it came out the same year as Scream 3. And the idea behind this one, it's a slasher. The serial killer is only targeting virgins rather than the typical trope of killing the... Typically in movies, the horror movie trope, just ask Jamie Kennedy's character in Scream 1. If you get laid, you die. But in this, if you're a virgin, you die. There's this whole bullying backstory where the killer is getting revenge, this kind of thing. It is a stupid, stupid movie. I get that they're leaning into the trope. This is what Scream did. Scream created a genre, and these movies tried to kind of innovate on them and failed miserably, because this movie is real bad. Brittany Murphy, I remember growing up, I thought she was a good actress. She is not, at least in this movie. I don't remember seeing her in anything else, but like just from memory strictly.
She's in Sin City.
But she is, she's the hooker that gets slapped around by the guy that Clive kills. Spoilers for Sin City. I've seen it about 100 times. Don't Say a Word's pretty good. I have a funny story about Don't Say a Word really quick.
Yeah.
I was a kid. I was about 12 years old. We used to go to the movies, me and my younger brother, all the time with my dad. And we would go to movies 2 to 3 times a week. It was kind of our time to spend with my dad. And legitimately every Tuesday and Friday we'd go to a movie. And I went out to the bathroom, and it's at the same mall we still go to. Picture going out, they had the rope cut off right by the opening before the bathroom. And I had seen so many movies in the past 2 months that I couldn't remember what movie we saw. So the guy was blocking me from going in. I'm like, I just passed you. And I was a kid. Like, I just passed you to go to the bathroom. Oh, I didn't see you. What's the name of the movie? Like, I don't remember. So that's how many movies we were seeing. So that's why
I just saw, though, she passed away in 2007.
Yeah, she was very young.
32.
So, but she was brutally bad in this movie. And the movie was trying to innovate on something, and it was a hard watch. Jay Moore was all right in it, but it's just, I don't know. I would not recommend this to anyone. I found this movie, I was reading through a website that said underrated slasher movies that deserve a cult following. I'm gonna hard disagree on this one. This one is a rough watch. An even rougher watch, this movie I did see as a kid.
Fear.com. I've heard a lot about this movie, never watched it.
Why? Who would tell you about this movie?
There's probably bad stuff about it.
Oh my god. This movie is about a guy who opens a website and tortures people, but has figured out a way to, when they watch the video, curse them with some sort of ring type, like the movie The Ring type ghost situation where they die based on their worst fears. This one's 1.8 out of 5 on here.
That's generous.
That's about right. The main guy is pretty decent, but the movie itself is rough, and it's on the dawn days of like really trying to use the internet for stuff, and it's really bad. The special effects are terrible.
Steven Dorff. Familiar. That's Steven Dorff.
What's he in?
I recognize his name. I think he was in Blade. Yeah. Okay. Yep. Blade. Zoolander. That's the other one as well. Ortals.
This lady, Natasha McElhaney, she is from Californication TV series. Now, let me move on. I can't talk about that.
Well, quickly before you go on this, because you reminded me of something, and then I just forgot it. So never mind. Keep going. I was like, I'm gonna say something before you go to the next movie.
Yeah.
And then I forgot. So.
All right. Well, if you
we'll keep going on.
Figure it out, then we'll throw it in here.
Yeah.
My favorite actress of all time, Jenna Ortega, is in this movie. She is untouchable. She is the best. The only one that even comes close is Meryl Streep. Jenna Ortega, and then Meryl Streep. Great. Don't even hate. If you got a problem with Jenna Ortega, you got a problem with yourself. Right?
It's a little sad because she actually is kind of like decent in some stuff, but she's just thrown in your face too much.
All right. This movie, on the other hand, if you've seen this trailer, you've seen the movie. I'll keep it light. This movie's brand new. But father and daughter accidentally hit and kill a unicorn en route to a weekend retreat, where his billionaire boss seeks to exploit the creature's miraculous curative properties. The movie is exactly what you think it is based on the trailer. They accidentally run over a small unicorn. The big unicorn comes after him. This guy, the smug guy with the black t-shirt, he's annoying and obnoxious. The woman's obnoxious.
That's sad.
Just
I like Will Poulter as an actor.
no, but his character is meant to be because he's
Sorry,
like
I thought you were saying
rich,
he was just obnoxious.
No, he's like a rich douchebag kid.
Okay.
Who's trying to inherit his dad's company.
Is Richard E. Grant like the billionaire guy? He was from the
yes.
lesson. Okay, I like him a lot as an actor. How's he in the movie?
He's good. His character. I'll just tell you the first couple minutes. His character is sick and dying, and obviously, if he's exploring the curative properties, he's trying to use it to get rich or get richer.
See, the Anthony Carrigan's. I think he was in Logan.
He's in frickin' Ted. What's that? What's the show with oh my god. What's the TV show with him? Barry. That's
Barry. Oh, he's in Barry. Okay.
Yeah. He's the weird Russian guy. The movie, 3 out of 5 per Letterboxd. Very fair. And when I say, if you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie, that's not a bad thing. It's solid. Some of the effects are a little goofy. It's
even the poster there looks kind of like the effects kind of look.
Yeah. They lean into some of the absurdity of it intentionally, and it's a good watch. I'm not hating on it, and
I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah, it's good enough to justify going to see at the theaters, I would say. Okay, saving the best for last. Letterboxd, you better wake the hell up because this 2.5 is out of control. 567 5-star ratings, 555 half-star ratings. People giving this a half-star. I
don't
can't
like action movies.
But like, why would you see it? Why would you watch it in the first place?
Because they're critics. They have to watch every single movie that comes out, even if they know they're going to hate it.
Jason Statham is still my. Okay, let me real quick. I want to see if I can see any
real
5-star, or I mean any
real half-star review.
Half-star rating.
I think if you click on the half-star,
where
I was gonna say, okay.
Mine. Oh, that's in German. David Ayer's working man abandons all the big swings and humor of The Beekeeper in favor of dour and humorless borderline QAnon garbage. QAnon? What's QAnon?
It's some sort of like Reddit thing, like where it's like their conspiracy type stuff. Like, that's why I don't know what that means.
As Stallone has a writing credit and is immersed up to his snarl and MAGA world these days.
Yeah, so it's right wing conspiracy theory stuff. Is what
so
QAnon
this person. Is. Yeah. Okay. This person has severe problems. Because if all you can say about the movie is that there's nothing about this movie that's conspiracy theory.
Yeah, I don't know.
Embarrassingly adolescent was wet dream brain rot, thinly veiled and tired American propaganda. Should have been okay. So this is people who didn't see the movie. I fell asleep in the cinema. There is zero chance in this world you fell asleep during this movie. Why
unless
does it?
Unless it was like me that one time where I watched when I watched The Monkey, where it was like, hey, I'm on 1 hour of sleep, and even though I'm enjoying the movie, I just can't stay awake. That's the only reason you'd fall asleep.
Waste product of a diseased culture, sociological value, and not much of it. I'm just trying to think of...
Wait, you're looking for reviews that will actually make sense in the half-star rating?
Yeah.
You're not going to find any.
When I make a half-star movie, I give a reason.
Yeah. But you're not going to find any good reasons here, that's all I'll say.
So all of these people... This guy spent a lot of time with this. I'm just very curious. Favorite film? So that's pretty solid. But I was expecting his favorite films to be like...
He gave Woman in the Yard 2 stars and gave The Working Man a half star.
This is the type of shit that just... Okay.
My friend saw The Woman in the Yard and said it was one of the worst things he ever seen.
Real quick, this movie is a Jason Statham movie.
Yeah.
But it's a Jason Statham movie that does everything better than the typical Jason Statham movie. It has elements of Taken, it has elements of John Wick, and it has elements of Star Wars. Why Star Wars? Because none of the enemies can hit a damn shot. Nobody can land a shot.
Same thing. Oh my gosh, you just reminded me of something. The Minecraft movie, when the skeletons are shooting, they're all missing with their arrows. I was like, yeah, bro, wishes that's what they shot like in the Minecraft. In Minecraft, you'll be like dipping and dodging, they'll hit you perfectly on target every single time. It's so annoying. You have to have like a shield or something up, and it's like they're just missing all their shots in the movie. Not realistic at all to the game.
Yeah, I'm stuck on the QAnon and the propaganda thing, because I think when you have when people are mentally sick and you have like a white guy being the hero these days, these people, they can't handle it.
Yeah, it's just like I was saying earlier with oh, your game has 2 women in it, must be DEI. It's like, no,
these people are sick in the head and gotta get out.
It's like white male is the lead. Oh, must be right wing.
Yeah. Yeah, and he doesn't play any like of that cucky BS stuff. So his boss's daughter, who he's close with, gets human trafficked, and he goes to... Is that the propaganda? Human traffickers? Because remember that movie last year?
It's
what was
usually
that movie?
Deep state type stuff is what they say when they do QAnon, where it's just like, well, actually, the deep state is in control of this thing, and it's really the government that's behind all these things that are going on. That's QAnon stuff, where it's like the government behind everything, or there's some sort of like conspiracy going on in the government that's hiding this or that. That's what QAnon usually is. At least, maybe I'm completely wrong, but that's what I think of when I see QAnon.
This is what happened last year with this movie. This guy goes into I can't remember which part of the world, but he tries to stop a sex trafficking ring based on a true story, and people were
upset,
brutalizing it. Yeah, because how dare he, white savior. So that's what
white
it is.
Savior.
Yeah. Anyways, to the normal people out there, which is our audience, this movie is an action, like balls to the wall. I could not believe how quick this movie went. And if you like John Wick, why is it John Wick? Because he's just going in and he's just jacking people up, Jason Statham style. And he doesn't hold back. John Wick kills a lot of people. So does Jason Statham. And Taken, because it's the boss's daughter.
Yeah, it's just very like just seems very Jason Statham-esque. Like I think even like, was it 2005, The Transporter or something? Jason Statham's been doing this for like 20 years. It's his
Did you say or something? Have you never seen The Transporter?
No, I do. Like I can't remember what year it came out. I watched Transporter 1, 2, and 3.
Was the year. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant. Okay. The 2005 or something. No, I've watched the 3 movies that he was in, 1, 2, and 3.
The other one was all right. It wasn't as good.
Yeah, he wasn't in it, right?
Refueled? Yeah, it was someone else.
I never watched it because I was like, it doesn't have Jason Statham in it.
Yeah.
But I did like the first 3. Yeah.
This was better than The Beekeeper. It was better than a lot of the movies he's done. And it was so enjoyable. I couldn't believe how fast the movie went.
Is it better than Hobbs and Shaw?
I've never seen that.
That's the Fast and Furious.
With Dwayne? Yeah. I haven't seen that one, but yeah, it is fantastic.
How's David Harbour in it?
He's in it briefly.
Only briefly? Okay.
He plays a confidant of Jason Statham. I highly recommend this movie. And if you're in the mood for an action movie, you can't go wrong because it is. Is
he like the man in the chair that's in all these movies? Like in Novocaine, it was the guy from Spider-Man. Is it he's like that kind of character where it's like he talks to him a bunch and then he just shows up? Okay.
No.
To say that seems to be like the trope in those movies now. It's like there's the guy I talked to on the radio and then
this is more of when you need like a break in the action, he goes and visits him for some advice and stuff. Okay. There's one problem I had with the movie. The main girl, she tends to be a little less traumatized than you'd think somebody who was being human trafficked would be. Which, if you think about the girl from Taken, she's like devastated. Like she's
Maggie Grace.
In Taken 2, she's weird for the first half of that movie because of what she'd already gone through.
Yeah.
But that's my only real issue with it. This is the second best movie of 2025 so far, behind The Last Breath. Or was it just Last Breath? The Last Breath.
I think it was just called Last Breath.
If you want an action movie, you can't go wrong. You know me, I'm like Jason Statham movie, 3 out of 5 typically. This movie is as good as you can get for an action movie. All right. I didn't know what you wanted up here for this.
I mean, that's it. So Fables.
But like,
I mean, you could just pop up like the first comic and then so like Fables 1 or something. It's fine. So I had a lot of stuff going on this week, as we kind of mentioned a little bit. So I didn't get a time to read as much as I would have liked, but I was able to read through the first arc of Fables, which is like the first 5 or 6 issues, something like that. Which, let me tell you, I thought like, oh, I'm going to be able to make way more progress than I did. I forgot how time consuming these can be sometimes. It took me like for 5 or 6 issues. It was like an hour. I was like, geez. Maybe they're just longer issues as well.
But like, I think we're so used to manga these days.
Yeah.
And those just fly by.
Yeah. But it was, and yeah. But it was one of those things where I couldn't really remember much about the plot. And then as I'm reading it, I'm remembering everything. So 1 through 5, Legends in Exile. Yep. And I gotta say, it's pretty good. It's the first arc there is a murder mystery type thing. It's kind of fun. I remember it being quite clever when I first read it. Now, you have to also remember, like, when this comic first came out was a long time ago. Like, if you want to scroll back up, let me just see when it first released. 2002. Yeah. So nice. it's an older one.
The glory days of comic books.
So you might be like, oh, I've seen this murder mystery trope before. I don't think it was as well known or something at that time, and it was still kind of very well done in the way they did it, and the way that everything kind of resolves. And I think the important thing with this is it made me want to replay The Wolf Among Us, just because the characters are just so interesting and well written, and their relationships with each other are super interesting. The world's pretty good. But yeah, I'll be reading more. I guess it's kind of old, so I don't mind spoiling stuff too much. Like, I'm probably not going to spoil it, like spoil full on type stuff. But yeah, no, it's Big B Wolf. You know, he's a play on the. I guess I should have explained what Fables is. Fables is kind of like, hey, all these fairy tale stories that you've heard, what if they were all real? Very similar to Once Upon a Time, except this was obviously way before that. But then, like, the homelands, as they call it, their fairy tale worlds are conquered, and they escape to New York City to live there. That way, they don't get, overtaken. Because for some reason, the big villain, whose name is the Adversary, isn't going to the real world. So,
cool.
It's pretty fun. It's this kind of idea of that, like, hey, we don't want to be here because, as they call them, they call like the humans mundies, the mundanes, stuff like that. It's like, hey, we don't want to be here, but we have to because this is the only place that we can survive. And the cool thing with them as well is they're immortal, essentially. Like, I mean, they can die if they're killed, but they don't die of age. They don't age at all.
Right.
That's why, like, but yeah, you have Big B Wolf, who's the big bad wolf. Snow White, who is the kind of like the mayor. Or like the deputy mayor of the city. It's very fun, very good. Big B Wolf is a very fun character.
Versus Big B Wolf.
Yeah,
interesting. Yeah, it sounds cool. Maybe I'll give it a try.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, even if you don't want to read it, because the game is a prequel as well. So, I would actually recommend playing the game first because I played the game before reading it, and there's some things that they'll try to surprise you with in the game that if you've read it before, you'll be like, well, I know that this can't be a thing because I know they have to end up here in the comics. Not having that does make it way more interesting. Because I'll just say the first episode of that game ends with a bombshell that's just like, what the heck?
Awesome.
I can't believe they're doing this kind of stuff in a video game. But it's pretty good. I'm sure you can get the entire Wolf Among Us series for like $20, $30. It's very solid. I cannot recommend enough. I'm tempted to play through it again. It's that good.
A couple more things. We talked about Magic the Gathering. But
yeah. Okay. So you can see how long this video is here. 2 hours and 2 minutes.
I love these when it's a 4.8K and they get 34K views.
Yeah, I think when he made this video, he was only like at 1K or something, but the video's been kind of blowing up. I discovered it because there's a YouTuber that I think I've shown you a little bit, Maximilian Dude, where he talks about Final Fantasy. And this guy was actually saying like, hey, I would love it for people to react to this video. So he watched the full thing on stream. And I gotta say, like, if you are a fan of Final Fantasy at all, especially this remake trilogy, it's 2 hours. I cannot recommend watching this enough because it does kind of take all the crafting, the theory crafting, and the ideas of what was happening, all these things that we've talked about a little bit on this, podcast here about it, and kind of condense it into one thing. And yes, you might say, oh, it's 2 hours though. That's how much there's going on with what's happening and all the behind the scenes stuff. There's some pretty cool things that he talks about here where it's like, you can tell like, oh, they've been working on some of this stuff since Advent Children came out in the 90s. Nice. They've been wanting to plan some of the stuff that they've been doing. Because they go into like the behind the scenes things with Nojima, I think. I don't know why his name just left, but the guy who directed the original did the character design, who works on the Kingdom Hearts games. I don't know why my brain is forgetting his name right now. But it's just really...
You're saying the director of the original Final Fantasy?
Not the director, he was the character designer. But he directed Advent Children was the thing. It's Nomura. Nomura, that's his name. Something Nomura. Yeah, Tetsuya Nomura, yeah. So he did the character design for the original FF7, and he wrote Advent Children. He was saying like, hey, there's these things we want to do with the characters, because you're kind of left with, at the end of the first game, or the original game, like, it's kind of a little bit of a downer ending. Mm-hmm. And there's some things that happen, and we've always wanted to give these characters a little bit more of a hopeful ending.
Right.
And I think something really cool that he talks about is, first off, like how, and I felt the very same way, when you first beat the game, you're left kind of a little disappointed. Mm-hmm. Because it's like you feel like something was taken from you, and it felt like this game was building up to something. Like the entire tagline of the game was, like, can fate be changed and everything. And they spend the entirety of the game saying, yes, fate can be changed. And then it seems like the game just ignores that, like saying, it just kind of pretends that nothing can be. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of like, well, actually, if you look at it from this perspective, this is how it does fit in with the theme. And it really goes into that. And he talks about like the ending and what they're actually trying to do with the ending. And something really cool that he does is he goes into The Empire Strikes Back and says, hey, look at people who reviewed The Empire Strikes Back when it first came out, especially critics. They all thought the ending was terrible.
Right.
And it's only after, and he said like a very important thing was all the fans loved the ending. Like they said like the ending was fine. They either loved it or said it was fine. Yeah. But the important thing was, after the third movie came out, it's like, okay, we have the bigger picture now. And now people consider The Empire Strikes Back and that twist in the ending to be one of the best things in cinema ever. That's why another thing he kind of mentions in this video is just that I'm pretty sure with hindsight, after the third part comes out, the end of this game will be appreciated way more. And like I said, I can't recommend watching this video enough. I get it's 2 hours, but if you got 2 hours and kind of what I did, where I was just grinding on a different game while I watched and listened to this, it's more than well worth it.
Is there anything very visually you need to watch, or can you just listen?
I mean, you don't. There's only one thing, like a couple parts that are gonna be difficult, which I had an issue with because I was doing the demo for the last Berserker: The Last Kazan. Actually, I completely forgot to mention where I had to like pause the video because you can't pause Berserker at all, as in the final fight there, because they do he plays some interviews from Nomura and some other people, and they're speaking in Japanese, so you have to read the subtitles. That's about it though. That's the only part where you actually have to like probably watch it. Nice. It's just a couple of them, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we're pretty much done here.
Yeah, and I guess I'll just say, I played Berserker: The Last Kazan. Nice. Pretty fun. Pretty fun demo. I got really frustrated in that final boss because I probably died to it like 50 times. I don't even know if it was the final boss. I had to stop playing at some point. I felt like the final boss is the guy in like that Dark Realm area where he like punches you a bunch.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, very fun.
Like it's more Sekiro than.
Is this a thing in the actual game? Because it would make me mad. When you die to a boss, do they give you just like free points to upgrade?
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of frustrating because I don't want you giving me pity upgrades for losing to a boss. I didn't like that because it's like, I just want to keep going. So I refused to use the upgrades when they would give them to me.
Right.
Because I was just like, I want to fight this boss at this level. I can do it.
Yeah.
And it was very annoying that they were giving me like free points. And I was like, please say this is just for the demo. But I guess that is a little sad to hear. But I mean, it's not bad either.
Visually, the game looks so good. It's so like it's unique and it just looks so beautiful. All right. So for next week, I am actually going Saturday. This movie, there's another preview, like another special event. The movie doesn't come out until next week. However, tomorrow at 6 p.m., there's a screening for us, so I'm going to go to that and watch this movie called The Amateur. Man's wife is killed, Rami Malek, everyone knows him. And the thing that I know him the most from is Until Dawn, surprisingly, but he plays a character who's just like a desk nerd who wants to avenge the death of his wife. And Lawrence Fishburne's in it. The movie looks like a lot of fun. John Bernthal is in it, the Punisher. And yeah, it looks like so much fun. So I'll be talking about that next week. Then I have AEW Dynasty on Sunday.
Yeah, I'll be reading more Fables. I'll be probably seeing Death of Unicorn. Got a lot going on. But hopefully, especially come the summer, a little bit more free time to experience more of this stuff.
Yeah, we should have some more cool stuff come too. So, yep. All right, that'll do it for us. Thanks for watching. Check out the stream, the live replay if you missed anything on youtube.com/@mediamen, and we will catch you guys later.
Peace.